Which, quick thing there, Dan. Did you see they are still using the longest episodic title, even though it's on Netflix now?
I wonder how that works because it's still episodic
They just don't
in
say it's
theory.
on cable anymore.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, it is still a week by week thing. So
yeah. When they panned in, they said the longest episodic was it event or superstar something Raw on Netflix is how they end it. That's the first time I've caught it. If they've been using it every week, so
well,
kudos to them.
according to AI, Netflix is considered an episodic streaming service.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they used to specify cable previously when they used to say it? When they were on USA? I thought they used to throw cable in there.
They might have said it like I don't know. Did they ever pass? They never passed The Simpsons, right? Because The Simpsons, I thought, had the title for cable.
Yeah.
Oh no, it might not be because Simpsons is on broadcast because it's Fox. Uh let's see.
Anyways. But while Dan's looking that up, we are back after a week off. Feeling pretty good about the state of wrestling, I would say, right now for WWE, Dan. Wouldn't you say so or disagree? What's your thoughts? How do we feel after coming out of that pay per view?
I mean, I think it's fine. It was a little. I don't know. The backlash always seems a little like either it's usually for me it's either one of two things. It's either rushed or like rushed and just like a bunch of rematches, or it's just like insignificant for the most part. This one I just felt was a little more insignificant for the most part. A little rushed maybe because it happened so quickly. But I mean I thought it was fine though. Little weird things here and there that we'll talk about, but otherwise I thought it was good. It was short,
Yeah, before
that's
we
for
jump into it,
sure.
I felt it was super fast. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, it did. They didn't do their video packages in between matches were shorter. They really didn't do anything backstage, right? Like it kind of ran like a Raw episode with a lot more wrestling than normal.
Yeah.
It's really what it was.
So,
And
sorry.
just,
Yeah.
I was just going to say, so Raw is still considered as through today the longest running weekly episodic television show.
That's what it
So
was.
maybe they used to say cable because they probably said cable because I think ran the Simpsons like ran as the longest running show or something.
Yeah.
But Raw surpassed the Simpsons too, I think.
Uh, and now WWE is doing television advertisements for M- Morgan and Morgan, the largest injury law firm. That's awesome. It's becoming NASCAR at this point. They're throwing an advertisement on everything. Um, wild, wild. Vince would never allow that to happen, Dan, because Vince would
Yeah.
have had to use the attorneys for his off the clock activities. So, yeah, backlash. Backlash to me feels always feels like a filler event. Like you're not like you don't usually get anything crazy, right? Like, I think everybody, yeah, everybody that had a title retained their title. So we had four titles being retained, if I'm counting. Yep, four titles being retained. Um, so we didn't get like any switching of the guards there. I want to get your thoughts on what you thought matches and night was, because I think we may differ from this. But first one of the card was the fatal four-way for the United States Championship with Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. What's your thoughts, Dan?
It was good for sure. I thought it was, I thought it was good in the sense of like, obviously we had a lot going on. Those are a lot of big guys wrestling in that
Yes.
match, and then obviously we have a new debut. Um,
Yes.
with Jeff Cobb, which is going to get very interesting how they're going to do that.
Right.
Um,
Which I didn't think Jeff Cobb would have been put there. I thought Jeff Cobb could have been used in other situations. But I guess that's a different debate for a different day. Um,
yeah,
but
I didn't
overall,
realize he was
yeah.
Samoan,
Uh, so he
or that he,
actually,
he can play Samoan, I guess, on TV.
well, um, so he actually, not that this counts,
He's
I don't think.
from Guam.
Yeah, he actually represented Guam in the Olympics. So I don't think that counts, though, right?
I don't know, but they do bill him from Hawaii, so you're getting closer.
So technically, Guam is classified as a Pacific island. So I guess you know the Micronesia region, and this just turned into the Bill Nye Science Guy podcast. So that's awesome. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he's
interesting.
Filipino.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm pumped that WWE got him. I didn't really see how AEW was going to use him right off the bat. Just I didn't see how he fit because he feels like he needs to be brought in as part of something, and then he could kind of dispatch out, kind of like what they did with Jacob, right? Because it feels like we're on the verge of seeing Jeff versus Jacob pretty soon before we get Jeff versus Solo, right? I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's where they're going with it. Did you catch Drew McIntyre's injury in this match?
I did not actually.
So when he took that South of Heaven through the table, they overshot the table and his head hit the cement.
Oh, I didn't
So
even see that.
so I'm surprised WWE didn't pull it. But if you go to Cage Side Seats, they have the video up on YouTube that it shows like the table's here and Drew basically hits it here with his head being this part. And it hits decently. Um and they said like he was like immediately evaluated. I didn't stick around for the post show press conference. Um, had to jump on the old Xbox, but Triple H said that McIntyre is banged up, but he'll be totally fine. But then, I mean, banged up on Friday, he could start showing concussion signs, right? So like, you really don't know. Like, yeah, banged up, he's probably sore from taking that, and he probably checked out fine, um, but that's basically how they took each other out to finish that match. So it seems
Yeah.
like that bad blood of them two going at it is still there. Um, which is quite interesting because I thought we were past that for Drew. You know what I mean? Like
No,
I thought Drew was headed onto something. Like I want to see Drew. To be honest, did the referee just put Penta's shoulder back in?
he helped him do something.
Holy hell! Uh, I want so I don't know if you caught the start of the tonight, but we ended up having Punk, Jay, and Sammy in the ring. Who fits Seth Rollins better than the triplets of terror than Drew McIntyre right now? He could promise them something in the future, right?
Yeah,
So why not?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I thought overall it was a good match. I expected Jacob to retain. I didn't think there was any way Jacob was going to drop the title. Did you think he was going to drop the title?
No,
Yeah, I did not
no.
either. From everything I've read, they're very high on this guy. So, um, let's see what Jacob can do. And I hope. I don't know if they put it out there yet. I haven't checked the WWE store in like 2 weeks. I hope we get a Jacob Fatu shirt that says "All gas, no brakes," because I love when he says that. right?
Probably will, for
Yeah,
sure.
on
I'm
something we're
sure.
gonna get it, right?
I would think too. By the time the turn comes around, you'll get it.
Right, right, agreed. Um, but that's a hell of a line, hell of a line that he delivers every time perfectly. Um, so I kind of like. So I mean, I don't know if Drew's okay and he doesn't have a concussion. Damien's okay from this match. LA Knight's okay with this match. Are these three guys kind of in purgatory now? They're kind of in standstill, right? Because what do you,
Yeah,
right? Like you
yeah,
can like they're not like they're additions to story. You're not writing a story around the three of them. It feels right now, correct? Is that how you feel?
yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see, because the crowd still loves Damian Priest, like absolutely loves Damian Priest.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I don't know if you caught it on Blue Sky. There was, how do I put this? A certain age of women that quote the video snap of when Damian Priest takes off his straps, like the Undertaker did, and they
Okay.
refer to it as DP taking off his slut straps. Nothing is better in this world. So he seems to have
Um,
quite a following by a certain group of moms that have been watching it with their kids on Blue Sky. Because they've all, I saw over 15 tweets, or 15, are they still tweets on Blue Sky? Yeah, we'll go with it. Over
I don't
15,
know. I don't think that's. I don't think that's. They call them there, do they?
I don't know.
On Blue Sky?
I'm going with it, Dan. I'm gonna get
Okay.
us docked by the FCC for this. It's okay. Um, I saw at least 15 posts of these certain age range of moms referring to it as Damien taking down his slut straps. What a way with words, man. What a way with words.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can I can almost guarantee what section of the bookstore they end up in, Dan. You know what I mean? I can almost guarantee. Um, After that followed the women's intercontinental championship match, Lyra versus Becky.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna get a Bailey sighting, and I called that last or 2 weeks ago. I said I thought we were gonna get a Bailey sighting. What did you think of this match?
I thought it was fine. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really care for. To be honest, the only match I was really interested in seeing was Cena and Orton for me. So
Same.
I didn't really care about any of the other matches all that too much. And admittedly, I was a little distracted during the card. So I I didn't pay attention to every single thing that was going on. Um I mean it was fine. I just, it's like whatever.
I thought it was match of the night.
Oh really?
I
Yeah.
thought it was match of the night. I felt we'll get to the Cena and Orton, but I just thought what I mean it could have just been. Yeah, I'll stick to what I said. I think it was match of the night. But it could have just been that these women out wrestled the expectations of what this was going to be. Um, I mean, I feel like they came in there, they told the story, they had their false finishes, they all pulled out each other's best out of them, right? They
Yeah.
um, they screwed around with the ref a little bit, like Becky did. I think the only thing that this was missing was the fact we didn't get a Bailey sighting. Because I thought for sure when Becky like tried to screw over Lyra with the ref, I thought for sure that's when we were gonna get it.
Yeah.
Um, and we just didn't, which is wild to me. But yeah, congratulations to Lyra. Obviously, if they're gonna let her beat one of the original four horsewomen, they must want her to keep the title for a while, then, huh? Like, because the way that I pictured this was Becky was gonna come into Backlash, take the title, and then the only person that could get it back from Becky was Bayley. And then that was gonna set up a Lyra versus Bayley, just like we had at NXT for the title, right? That's how I thought they were slow playing this. Or unless
Yeah.
Becky comes back with partners now, and then it's Lyra and Bayley.
Yeah, I thought for sure we would get a Bayley sighting too. But we didn't.
And now that we're talking about Bayley, let me throw this in there. Have you seen what Jonathan Coachman has said?
No, now what's he saying?
He basically has gone off, which I didn't even know he had a wrestling podcast. Somebody's enjoying their 5 minutes of fame. But in a recent episode of the Behind the Turnbuckle podcast, what a stupid name. What are you doing behind the turnbuckle, Dan? They're the damn post. That's where they're attached to. What a moron. He's such a moron. Anyways, he gave an assessment of what he feels about Bayley. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Because we just talked about them, 2 weeks ago, right? All 4 of them we talked about. Coachman's verdict on Bayley's career, stating that she is done, washed up, and boring. He questioned what value she brings to the table, suggesting that her presence in the WWE doesn't make a significant impact. Coachman even went as far to say that if Bayley were to drop from the roster, it wouldn't make a difference. Well, one of his key points was that Bayley hasn't been a significant draw for ticket sales in any of her rivalries. He believes that her matches and storylines hasn't generated the same level of interest and excitement as they once did. This lack of box office draw is a significant concern for WWE, as it suggests that Bayley's appeal may be waning. And he's surprised Bayley wasn't part of the latest WWE releases.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Exactly.
They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that just for the fact that they wouldn't want her to go other places. Like, they'll hold her and do nothing before they release her.
Yeah, exactly. They'll pay her to stay at home.
Right. There's no way. And there's certainly no way they're going to let her, even though I still wouldn't consider it a real problem here. There's no way they're going to let her go to AEW with Sasha.
Well, so
because that's the kind of thing that Sasha could use to reinvigorate what she's got going.
Yep.
You know?
Well, and so he brought that up. He speculated that Bayley's friendship with her might have negatively impacted her WWE career. That he suggested that this friendship might have influenced his decisions, like not awarding her the U.S. Championship. While this is purely speculative, obviously, it's interesting dynamic to consider, especially given the competitive nature of professional wrestling. Would you refer to Bayley as done or washed up?
No.
I guess he wasn't around when Rhea was out hurt with that shoulder injury, and Bayley had to carry the title for that 8 to 10 months, correct? Like, she was the right. She was the workhorse. She's the one that brought up Lyra and all these girls from NXT. She's still going down to NXT to wrestle all these girls. Like, I know he's probably saying 95% of this to get views, but even that perspective of it is just downright idiotic.
He's been in weird spots too, because he's been critical for a while now.
Yes.
You know, of them. and I just don't know what's really going on there, you know?
Well, and he said something when the Vince stuff leaked by Wall Street Journal. He came out and said something like, "Oh, I could tell you that was going on." Okay, well then why didn't you? Like, why come out and make a comment like that? Like, are you just that hurt from the company not thinking you're good enough to be an announcer?
Probably.
Do you know what I mean? Like, are you just like
Yeah.
you're not using
That's
this
probably where it comes from.
like this? Like Cardona said it best. You're hurt now. Don't dwell in it. Use this opportunity to go rebuild yourself. Like he could have easily did that if
Yeah.
he truly wanted to be a wrestling and announcer. But that's he got fired from ESPN too. So like, I don't know. I just thought I don't like she's not even on the card, so I take shots at her before the card. Right? She's out injured, storyline wise. Why take shots at her for it? You obviously saw the interview she did prior to WrestleMania with Chris Van Lee, and you could see the stuff affects her. Like,
Right.
you know, like, I don't know. Dude's a joke. He's always been a joke. He will continue to be a joke. And Jonathan, if you're somehow listening, you have a stupid podcast name, idiot. Anyways,
Okay. Tell us how
back
you
to the
really feel,
match.
James.
It's just stupid. I don't understand. She's not even on the card. She hasn't been involved. Like, if there's a way to tie it into the storyline of like, hey, I think we should have saw Bailey come here to help out Becky, that to fast track like getting Bailey versus Becky, cool. But like to just come out and attack her character when you haven't been relevant since, let's see. Oh, here you go. He's good friends with Sage Steele. That says a lot. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, that makes sense. The idiots flock together. Um, we're not gonna go down that route, Dan, because that'll turn into a whole different other podcast.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself, Jim.
Yeah, it's too easy. But I did think this was match in the night. I think these two really put on a show, and there's one small thing you probably didn't catch because I know you were working during this time. But there's one small thing that Michael Cole did after this match that I thought it was pretty cool for Lyra. So when she like took the last pump handle slam or whatever, or yeah, took the last slam, reversed it, pinned her, got the belt back. She's sitting on the side of the apron and she's like checking out her shoulder and arm or whatever. And
Yeah.
Michael Cole came out and said, "Well, we all need to acknowledge Lyra Valkyrie is here to stay. She's the real deal." I think that's a cool thing that, like, I don't know if they're going to continue, like, doing that with these big name, like, NXT people that have a good
Yeah.
showing on WWE, but I think that's cool that they can, like, go
Yeah.
back and, like, hear Michael Cole say, yeah, you are the real deal, right? Like, I think that's awesome. You know, so kudos to the GOAT announcer for doing that. Thank you, Michael Cole. After that, we had the Intercontinental Championship match. Dominic versus Penta, right? Yep.
Yep.
Thoughts?
I liked this match. This one I got to pay a little more attention to, so I could put this as my potential favorite match because my problem with Cena and Randy we'll get into, but I had a little bit of an issue with it, you know, in general. So I could put this as my favorite match of the night. Um, just because I really like to watch Penta go, though. Man, he can go.
He can. He sure can. Um. Penta's got a lot of paper or PLE time, huh?
Got a lot of time. Period.
Yeah.
He's been on. I mean, he's basically been on every Raw.
Yes.
Um, he's basically been on every Raw. He's been on all these PLEs. I suspect too that um we're getting him and his brother somehow
With this Judgment Day stuff.
with this Judgment Day stuff and this Dom thing, right? And this, everything that's going on with Grande Americano and all
Agreed.
that, like, right? Because they made a point to bring that up, like Grande Americano and, having beat Ray Phoenix. And, I think we're just getting the two of them together, even from opposite shows, just to, um, just to put them together. But yeah, you're right. He's getting a ton of time.
Right.
But I think well, it's a couple of things, right? Like, I think it's recognition of a guy that just like is exciting to watch,
He
right?
has it.
And they know
Yep.
that. And he's different.
Yep.
And I mean, I said this in the very beginning when they said this was happening in general, that he was also, he's just not something they normally have,
No.
meaning WWE. They just haven't had a Penta character, maybe ever, to be honest.
He's
I
he's a
mean, Ray,
yeah.
obviously,
Yeah,
Ray
but that's
Mysterio,
different,
but
right?
like, it's a little bit different for
Yeah.
sure.
Because like you expect a guy that size to be able to do the stuff he does. But like with
Well, and in
well,
fairness too, like Ray's heritage was not like something that they really focused on when it
correct.
came to WWE, right? Like, they do it more now, obviously, and in later years. But when they first got Ray out of WCW, right, in WCW, there was the beginning of Rey Mysterio was definitely all about the luchador thing, but they were doing that with all luchadors, right? That was Eric's
Yeah.
big thing. He
Well,
talked
and
about all
with
the
the
time.
cruiserweights, right? Like he loved
Right,
cruiserweights.
right. And but then, after WCW changed, and then Ray and the NWO and Unmasking and the LW, like all that stuff, then they got away a little bit from his heritage and being a luchador. And he came to WWE, and it was like, yeah, he's a Mexican wrestler who wears a mask, but we're not really going to treat him like there's some grand heritage here of him being a luchador. I'm not sure that they ever referred to him as a luchador in WWE for years. So Penta represents something they just don't normally have, or haven't normally had, and they recognize the cult type following he has. And so, yeah, they're putting him out there all the time. And he's a workhorse, right? He's always been a workhorse.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah. So, I mean, I liked the match. I think it's leading to the Lucha Bros, which I think will be kind of cool, you know? And they'll be able to do it and then split them back up into their shows. Um, so, it'll be interesting for sure.
So I guess technically in 2003 they referred to him as the greatest luchador of all time, or in
Oh, yeah.
2023 his Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah.
And then
But like, it wasn't until very much later in
yeah,
his career that they started going back to saying, like, oh yeah, he's got this great heritage.
yeah, there's a few other like instances where like they go about it, but it's nothing nothing on the Monday Tuesday, Friday programming. Like in the WWE films that they did like off of that, then they were referred to him as that. But it doesn't seem that to be a title that they ever like to truly use, unless they were talking about Eddie and how he ties into Ray, or like it was Mexican like heritage month. Because remember, there was a few years that they were big on that, like they were doing all like the heritage months, like the sports franchises do with like the pink ropes for breast cancer and all that stuff. They were
Yeah.
going down that for a while. Yeah, I think the cool thing about Penta is he's a cruiserweight, but at the body of a heavyweight, right? So like when you see
Yeah.
him walk these ropes, he's physically walking these ropes. When you see him like what was the spot in the pay-per-view? Sorry, in the PLE. The ref bent through the middle rope, right? And Penta went over the top to take out all of Judgment Day while the ref was completely bent over. So if you think about it, the rope is here. You have a grown man in front of you bent through the second rope. So you have to take off from back here to clear all of that and still land on the pile. That's insane. That's insane. Anybody that size is pulling that off, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's insane. Yeah, he's awesome. Um, yeah, he's supposedly 207 pounds. They say seems a little heavier than that, but
A little bit. A little bit. Hey, yeah.
question for you: when WWE does this AAA event, do they send El Grande Americana?
Probably. Probably for sure.
Do they send Chad Gable? I got you. I
Well,
got you.
we'll see. We'll see.
uh,
We will see how that works.
um,
And not like we haven't seen, some of that stuff with God, remember when we had two Undertakers way back when?
I'm trying to remember. I know.
We had like the fake taker. I mean, this is years ago.
Yeah.
Ted DiBiase had a taker, and then Paul Bearer had a taker for a while.
Yeah.
That was when they debuted the purple.
Yeah.
The real Undertaker, it was gray versus purple. They were wearing the same outfit with the only difference being that. I mean, we're talking like pretty early on in his career, but so like I said, it's not like they haven't tried to do both like that before.
Yeah. Side note: Worlds Collide. Was that an AEW branding before? Why did that sound from the familiar?
I think it's a triple A. I think it's a triple A branding. So they probably own it now.
Gotcha.
Worlds Collide has been used before, although WWE might have used it before too. Now that I
Really?
think about it, hold
No.
on, let's see. Worlds Collide.
Oh, here you go. So they used it. Worlds Collide 2019 tournament special featured the NXT,
Yeah,
the NXT UK, and 205 Live. Oh man, I miss
yeah.
205 Live. And
So it's not a
yeah,
triple A thing. It is something that WWE
interesting.
did.
And then they
Yeah,
did it in
with
2020. It was the weekend of Royal Rumble, which had the Imperium. There you go, Dan. Led by who at the time?
Walter.
Walter versus the Undisputed Era. And then
Yeah,
Worlds Collide, a 2022 event, which was the branding as NXT UK was being phased out and NXT Europe was being planned. So that was just a unification show, basically. I knew I heard it from somewhere, but I thought it was an AEW thing. Interesting.
no, the AEW. Oh, what did they had? I'm trying to think of what they might have done. They had World's End.
Oh, okay. I'm probably confusing them.
Yeah, they had World's End once, but
Probably
they might
confusing
have
them.
done something though, because they did do, they did a thing with AAA for a while too. So
Yeah. Um. Yeah, but overall, love this match. Uh, Wade Barrett basically said, "I want to get your true professional opinion on this, Dan." Wade Barrett basically said, "Dominic Mysterio, greatest Intercontinental champion of all time. Why is Wade Barrett completely true on this statement?
No, stop it.
I
Stop it
love.
right now.
Did you see the backlash that's getting on Reddit and like Twitter?
No. I
Dom has
haven't
to
seen
be
that.
enjoying himself with him just stirring the pot this bad by calling himself that. And they keep
Oh, that part, yes, I'm sure that he's loving every bit of that because he's literally able to be a heel
in real
and
life.
everybody loves
Yeah.
it. And everybody loves it. Like this is like every heel's dream, right? Like this is like, oh, I can be a complete dick and they just want more of it.
Did you see what he did to the Steiners when they were in the hallway?
No.
So the night he won it, right? He pinned Braun. He's walking out, right? With the towel on. The camera crew is following him down the hall. He's showing the camera the title like this. He goes, real quick, catch this, catch this. He turns to Scott Steiner that's standing in the hall and goes, I bet you guys wish you had this back, and then you just kept walking down the title, and then you just hear them like beep out Scott. So like Scott's like cussing him out 100% down the hall. But like that's the perfect example of what you were saying, right? He
Yeah.
just full-fledged. He's sold into this now. He is sold. Um,
It's great.
it is gonna be great. Do you think to build off this as Dom being the greatest Intercontinental champion ever? Do you think? How do you think this split works? Do you think Dom goes off by himself with Liv and Raquel on his side, and Finn keeps JD and Carlito? Because I think that might give him like an
Um
extra pop of like he just has the girls now with him, right? Instead of
I yeah, I do think he's definitely going to go out on his own. I'm not really sure what they're going to do with Liv um and him with that, but I don't think he stays with the others at all. I definitely don't think that happens.
you think they stay with Finn?
I think the whole Judgment Day breaks up eventually, like, and sooner rather than later. I could be wrong on that, but I really think like that's where they're going to go with um the Judgment Day.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I'm interested to see whenever we see it. It feels like it's been forever. So
Well, it has. I don't know why. Like I don't know what they're waiting for.
yeah. Um. After that, we had Gunther beating up on Pat McAfee. I was a little disappointed in this match because I thought we were gonna get Gunther from the indie days of him just chopping on Pat constantly, and the chops to where like I don't know. Did you ever see when he was wrestling Darby? I think it was Darby, and he chopped Darby so hard and it like tilted him, like in
Yeah.
mid, like those types of chops. Because I felt like that would be easily done for Gunther to do to Pat, right?
Yep.
Because he's obviously you don't. I mean, like Pat's not the guy that's gonna be sturdy on his feet. What did you take of this? Because there wasn't even like a
I didn't
Goldberg.
understand this at all. I really didn't understand
Right,
this at all. We got nothing
right,
out of this, right? Like we got nothing to we got no surprise, right? We got no we got nothing out of this. And it almost also seems like it ended
right,
because he did the whole like little sign of respect after he left the
right.
ring and they gave Pat a little bit of a whatever, but like I expected something to come of this, like whether it was going to be Goldberg or something, right? Because everything seems to be pointing to Goldberg wants one more match, and it's going to be with Gunther.
in Saudi Arabia,
Like,
supposedly.
I thought maybe they could run a story where they're going to tell you that Michael Cole, like, called Goldberg to be ready just in case because he was afraid of what could happen, and he knew bad blood exists there. Like, I thought we were getting something like that. We didn't get any of it. And I was like, what is going on here? So we just had a match, and, no offense to Pat, he was a little rusty. So it was a little sloppy of a match, and it seemed a little like, it seemed a little, I don't know what's a word I want to use. It's just disjointed, I guess, is the word I want to use. Like, it just was like didn't flow very nicely. And you know, then we got nothing out of it. It was just a match for a match's sake, and I didn't understand it at all.
Yeah, I feel dumb because I was expecting to see Goldberg sit somewhere ringside, and I thought Gunther would start antagonizing that way.
Yeah, I thought there was gonna be something. Like I said, my thought was like they were just gonna work it in because of how like animated and involved Michael Cole was. I thought for sure it was gonna be like Michael Cole makes a gesture and out comes Goldberg, right? Like and the story just becomes I knew that Pat might need help and that Gunther might not stop. So I called somebody who I've known a long time who I also know doesn't have any love lost for Gunther. And that's how you set those two up, but
Yeah,
that didn't happen.
or like you can have Pat wrestle Gunther, but then have like Pat was training with Goldberg, right? Like do something
Something.
like that.
Something.
It just
But it didn't happen. So
yeah, it just doesn't. Um, yeah, because it's weird. Because then Pat had this tweet, I guess, uh, after all this, because it was unclear if Pat would be calling Raw basically tonight in Kentucky. Obviously, he showed up for the Penta match, so he's obviously probably just late flying in. But there was a message he put on Twitter saying, "Don't be scared to end a chapter and start a do. You're gonna have to do it eventually, anyways, and always remember to check with the beer every once in a while and make sure your book is one that makes you happy. And if not, change direction. I think that you're allowed to do that. We have no idea when the final page is being written with those sequels. This is our only chance at this thing here. I appreciate you all so much for everything. I'm living the dumbest book of all time, trying to figure it all out as I go.
he must be giving up something.
It
Something's coming
right,
around.
right. Yeah, it's crazy. I get it's speculating. Yeah, I mean, or do you think this is just him like mentally preparing because he's going to be away for a bit due to college football, right? Because he does college
It could
football
it
game
could be
day.
that too. It could be that too, but I don't know.
And then he went into detail about the match on his show, and he basically broke it down as two dudes just beating the piss out of each other. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't. This part of the card just frustrated my father. He had no idea. No idea what was going on. And I don't think we all do, right? Like, I don't know. Like, would you, like, would you say that Gunther showing the sign of respect afterwards made it even more weird? Because now, like, reading Pat's tweet and Gunther giving the hand for the sign of respect definitely feels like that was a goodbye to the WWE for a bit. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense. Because, like, why
For
would
Gunther?
for Pat? Well, for Pat, because then why would Pat have like a farewell match, basically? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but then he's here tonight.
Right.
So
So it's like, is he like, is his contract ending soon, and then he's just gonna be? I don't know. It's friggin' weird, man. Weird, weird, weird. But anyways, getting to the big match of the night, which started, I think, 2 hours and 10 minutes into the card. I think very fast. I think. We had John Cena versus Randy Orton. Thoughts? This one got insane with
I
all the
mean,
tables they pulled out.
yeah, it was weird. I mean, it was good for a bit, and then towards the end, I was like, okay, this is just too much. That's how I viewed it. It ended up being just too much of listening or watching all this with everything they had going on between whether it was false finishes or whatever, It was just to me, it was too much towards
Jesus.
the end. I thought it was good until then, but then at the end, it just got out of control. I mean, now we had what, 3 or 4 refs taken out,
There
right?
was more
I think
than
we had,
that, I think.
we had all the officials too, like that Randy went nuts on. But I mean, like,
I think
I
at
think it was three. I think it was 3 refs total that got taken out, and then the original ref came back too to make the final count. So but I think it was 3 total.
at one point they said that, not counting Cena, Randy gave out 8 RKO's, which is
Yeah.
just wild.
Well, yeah, he RKO'd all of the officials, Aldis, Helms, all of them.
Yeah, just wild. Wild, wild, wild. Yeah, I guess besides that, like, what are your thoughts? Like, did you think we were gonna get something else in here? I don't know. I have some thoughts on this, but I'll let you go first. Um,
Yeah, I thought we'd get something. I didn't know what. I was having trouble figuring out what we might get, but I did think we would get something. Some sort of some sort of interference or whatever, but I guess instead what we got was just the craziness that was the way that ended up working out. But I thought for sure we'd get somebody getting in the way.
I yeah. So, which is funny because I don't know if you caught it. Big E started the post show before the press conference, saying the same thing that you just said.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, where he kind of was like, um,
Yeah,
yeah, where he was like, oh, I thought maybe we'd get The Rock or Travis Scott again or something. Yeah, I did see that.
yeah, crazy. Yeah. Thoughts for you. Here you go. Ready?
Yep.
Has John really done anything heelish besides just sharing his feelings? And not in the
I
sense that
mean,
it's heelish based on, it's just he's playing on the other side of the fence and he's what is his whole career. But we haven't really seen him do anything heelish. He hasn't really come out in like a heelish gimmick. He hasn't really did anything heelish like spray painting an axe over the center of the big belt. You know, he did it. He hasn't come down and started with anybody. Like when Punk was in a match or Jay was in a match, he didn't come down and like cause them to lose a match. He comes out there in his scheduled time, says what he wants. I guess the only thing that you could say he's done heelish is when he put R-Truth through the post show press conference table, right?
Yeah, I mean, he did a few moves during the match that were heelish, poking the eyes and a couple
Right,
of things
okay.
like that.
So like we're starting to
Um,
see it, right?
but
Because
the no heel promos, I mean, the no heel like entrance and outfit is part of the deal because right, he's the heel part of that is him saying you don't deserve me to change my entrance.
fine,
You don't deserve an
okay,
entrance at all. Right, and we got the
yeah,
black and because he actually did change his entrance. His music is the same, but he comes out to just black with his name in white lettering.
yeah,
Um,
fine, okay,
but
I'll give
also,
that to you. Because he
but
hasn't really
also,
ruined wrestling. I know there's a countdown to the day that he does it, but he hasn't really ruined wrestling. And he said that's
no,
what he's going to do this whole entire way. And he hasn't really done that. And I know the plan
no,
is for his title reign to be throughout the summer. Like, he's going to be the big push throughout the summer, is what's been confirmed.
yeah, and on top of that, like he's already starting to show a little bit of like regret. So
Yeah,
after the
I,
match
I
ends,
guess.
well, I thought he did because so the match ends and then he gets out of the ring and then he stops and he starts to look like he's almost, they're chanting thank you Cena and he's almost like wanting to acknowledge that, or it almost looked like he was going to start to cry a little. So
Yeah, there's a picture going around from somebody sitting ringside that said he was tearing up before he like took that big long blink, and they caught it on camera. So
yeah, so
yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess maybe I guess my thoughts of being a heel run are expecting different things. I guess.
yeah, I mean it's so different
Yeah, that's yeah.
because he's John Cena, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. That's the premise. It just I was thinking about this. Like I know we did a few things oh excuse me. Within the batch of like going to doing things he's never like really did before to like try and cheat and get his way over and like certain things he did to Randy and because made it they made an emphasis, right, of like them saying these are the type of things that John did to Cody, and Cody wasn't willing to go to that basically dark side they called it.
yeah, well that's going to change, I think.
I think so too. When do you think we see Cody back?
Probably a couple. I still think it might be a little bit of time. I don't know, maybe even I'm not even sure, but I don't know. Maybe not till SummerSlam at the earliest.
Like you see him do a run in, or does he have a scheduled match? You think, or does he join forces with Roman and Punk to go after this whole Seth thing? If Seth gets it, the third guy, because we obviously don't think that it's just going to be Seth and Braun this whole entire time, right?
I don't think so. No,
Okay,
I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
so yeah, I. What do you do? So you think we get Cena on SmackDown? Is is he scheduled for SmackDown?
I don't know actually when he's scheduled. Also, are we? I don't have the volume on. Are we going to get Gunther and Jay again? Is that what we're doing here?
Uh, yeah, I guess. Yeah,
Crowd loves Jay again. Not that they really necessarily stopped, but I
no.
definitely thought it was waning a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that waning was because of Gunther, it wasn't because of Jay. Because besides what, like, Gunther is great in the ring. What does he bring personality wise that draws you to him?
Yeah.
Right? Like, he doesn't have anything. You think this is going to end up in a triple threat?
Um, no, I don't think so. I think they're gonna let Jay just go over Logan cleanly.
And smash him? Because that would be great.
I don't know about smash him. They always let Logan. They always let Logan have really great match, like long, great matches.
Yeah, that is true. Um, yeah, I guess so. I'm sorry. Back to the Cena thing. Did you say if he was confirmed for SmackDown or not? Did they say?
I have not seen. No.
So I guess what do you do with John if you're in charge now?
Well, let's see what's next. Well, according to this, he's advertised for Saturday night's main event,
Yeah, the
so that's May
24th. That I
24th.
knew. Yep. Did you see where his final match is going to be taking place?
Boston.
TD Garden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Well, I
mean, it
just
has to.
thought you wanted to call some of your relatives. You guys can take your cockies and go down there, get your little Dunkin'. And
Did you really just say cockies?
yeah,
Um,
I was watching The Town over the last 24 hours, Dan. I love that movie.
um, yeah. I mean, Boston just obviously makes sense,
Yeah.
but um, although I thought there were some people out there that believe Cody's going to beat him in his final match to take his title back. I guess that you could do that in Boston. I guess that would make sense.
What do you think the crowd's reaction would be of that? Like, I'm not sure what they would
Uh,
think, so
I
that's an
mean,
interesting point.
at the end of the day, given the way things are now, it doesn't matter. Like him going out losing the title is fine, and then if that's how they do it, and then Cody will shake his hand, hug him, raise his arm anyway, and walk out of the ring, and then that crowd will go nuts and chant "Thank you, Cena." And he'll put the sneakers in the middle of the ring because he doesn't wear boots. He'll put the sneakers in the middle of the ring and he'll walk out, and that'll be the end of it. So I don't think there's a who was listening to that was saying, well, I know Ric Flair has said it, but I thought there were other people who said it too. Like there's nothing wrong with retiring on a loss
No.
like that. Like it's the old way of doing it
Yep.
too.
Um. So, do you think we're officially done of the final boss?
No. I mean, I don't know what his schedule is and all that stuff, but I don't think that's over. I don't think that's over at all.
Did you see the conversation going back of like The Rock telling people he's done and not being available for stuff? Is basically his party being kind of petty for the fact he never got the Roman Rock match when he supposedly wanted it. And then that's kind of how he's like so he got involved as the final boss, but now he's just kind of stepping away. which
I I don't know if I buy all that. I
I don't
really
either.
don't. Like
I think these
because
two
like
guys.
at the end of the day, you're on the fucking board. Like what
Well,
more do
that's
you
what I mean.
need?
Well, that's
You
why
know, like
I think these guys are just too goddamn busy. I think that's what it is. Like they're
oh, I'm
just too
sure
too
and
goddamn
and
busy
he's
to be
still
this petty, right?
and he's
Like
still running that football league, right?
I don't know if he's
The
running it
UFL?
anymore, but he's part of it, I believe. I think
He's a part owner, right?
yeah, but I think there's people that report into him. I think that's kind of how his
Oh,
flow is.
I'm sure he doesn't have to be on the ground all the time, but I'm sure. But I also think he's
Yeah, he probably get the big
speaking of
decisions.
which, Russ Brandon is the CEO of that.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah,
I
that I
didn't
know.
even realize
Yeah,
that.
well, because he
I
was
guess I
part of
knew,
it
but I
when.
forgot.
So he was part of it when it originally started before they did the merger. Because he,
Yeah, no, I remember.
yeah. So his court case probably got closed quietly.
Yeah, so he co-owns the league, um, but with his business partner, his ex, and Redbird Capital. But so I'm sure he's still doing a lot for that, and he's got his movie career, and he's got his alcohol, and he's got a million other things. I'm sure he's still involved in, and he sits on the board of TKO. So it's like, I don't know. I just don't know if I buy it about the not getting the Roman match because honestly, like they could do the Roman match this year if his schedule allows it. They
Yeah.
really could. Like they could do the Roman match whenever they want. It wouldn't be hard to start a story. They never finished. Um. Oh, look at Braun Breaker attacking Jey Uso. They never. They never finished the story with The Rock with a couple of things. The Bloodline stuff was never truly settled. I mean, yes, Roman won the Ulafala back, but you don't even hear about it anymore. He doesn't wear it that I remember. I haven't seen him wear it in a while.
Just the time he put it on
So
in the ring after he pounded the piss out of them all. That was the
right,
last time.
right. So then, you know, we never really got any finality with that, and you still could. I mean, whatever's going to happen with Jacob and Solo and all that, and now Jeff Cobb and whoever else is still around. I mean, I still think you could kind of do something with the bloodline if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think it's still there. I think there's a lot more you can do with the Bloodline than you can with Judgment Day. You just need to let Judgment Day be put down already.
And we haven't seen the end of. Seemingly, we haven't seen the end of Cena. I mean, Cena, Punk, Seth, and Roman. That hasn't been resolved.
Right.
Even though it might not be, it might not be progressing. It's not. It wasn't finished either. The last we saw was Seth getting the one up on the two of them.
Yes.
And we haven't seen Roman since, and this is the first we're seeing Punk since.
What's the WWE calendar look like?
For events.
Yeah.
Well, you've got.
Oh, did they not put them in order? All right, so
Actually, they don't. After Saturday night's main event for main roster, they don't have anything until SummerSlam. Apparently.
this Battleground NXT, yeah, that's now NXT.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Money in the Bank, they have June 7th.
Oh, I didn't even see this on this list I'm looking at.
Yeah. Do you think Cena has a match there?
That's right. They announced Night of Champions too. Riyadh's getting Night of Champions. The Crown Jewel is in Australia this year.
Wait, what time? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, so 6:30 our time. Money in the Bank starts. I was gonna say, what the hell? You think we get Cena there?
Where? Saudi?
Money in the Bank.
Oh. No, probably not.
I think we get
Probably not.
Damian Priest versus Cena there.
Oh, interesting.
Because you're probably going to get Cena versus R-Truth in Saturday night main event.
Yeah.
R-Truth is part of the original Judgment Day. Damian feels bad for him. And we get Damian and John. Would you like to bet a pack of 151 cards on this, Dan?
Sure.
One pack.
One pack.
If we can find them.
$14.
Yeah. Pittsburgh Raw, June 30th. Danny boy. I'm kind of, how do I put this?
I mean,
free.
Yeah. I mean, why not then?
Till July 24th. So, yeah. Yeah, we gotta see how much tickets are. Bro, does WWE put everything on West Coast time for their...
I don't think so.
I'm looking at Ticketmaster for the Pittsburgh show. It says June 30th, 2025. 5:30 p.m.
I mean, maybe they're just putting local time, so it would be 8:30 our time.
Yeah, but then why would it be 3:30 or 5:30 that time? Doesn't make sense because it's in Pittsburgh. But
wait a minute, for when?
For
the Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about Money in the Bank.
No, yeah, they have Money in the Bank listed as 3:30.
Okay, 6:30 our time.
Yeah.
It might just be that might be like doors. Well, doors open is kind of early at 5:30.
2.5
but maybe
hours
it's
early.
doors open. Yeah, I don't know.
Jeez. So I'm sorry. Do you think we get John there?
No.
At
Oh,
Money
in
in the Bank?
Pittsburgh?
Yeah. No.
Or Money in the Bank? No,
Okay.
I don't, because they'll have two Money in the Bank matches, right? They'll have a women's and a men's, most likely. I guess I could be wrong on that.
Yeah. They'll probably have it because. Yeah, they'll have both. Who do you think goes for it for the men's? Because now I'm intrigued. Like, now that I've seen this has been confirmed to be the summer of Cena, I'm very intrigued here.
Yeah, I mean, well, right. So we think R-Truth, which will just be, is just a throwaway and just a little fun story they can do with My Hero and all that stuff, right? And then who could be after that? I mean, I still think they're eventually going to get to Punk.
Yes, I think so
Roman.
too. I think so too.
Right, like Punk for sure. I mean, I don't know how you can't do that match before this year is out. Maybe
You
Roman.
have to. You have to.
You definitely have to.
Who do you think we get in Money in the Bank? I'm thinking we get Punk.
Well, that could be real interesting because I mean, you've got so many potential, right? Like that you could do with that. I mean, you could do, I mean, you always have the options of doing guys like Punk, Seth, Braun, Damian, Drew, Sammy, AJ Styles, Karrion Kross, Logan. Like, there's so many
I
you could put
definitely
into
thought
that.
Logan. Carrying would be awesome.
I mean, there's just so many guys you can put into it. You know?
Carrying would be awesome. Do you think we get Roman?
That would be interesting. That would be interesting for sure. You might. I mean, there's a lot of different ways they can go, so you might just get that.
So I'm thinking okay, this is just wishful, right? Ready? How many are there? There's 6 in there, right?
Yeah, usually.
Uh, okay, here we go. I got 3. I need one more. I got Punk, Logan, Karrion, Seth, and Roman.
Say it again.
Punk, Logan, Karrion, Seth, and Roman. Who would be
Yeah.
your 6?
I mean, I think Punk. Punk, Logan, Braun Breaker.
So that's funny that you put that. I have here next to having Seth down, I have Slash or Braun because I see
Yeah.
Seth using Braun as a weapon to go get the briefcase.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So Braun, maybe Sammy, and Damian.
Oh, you think they give that to Damien or Drew?
I
If
don't know. I mean, it's been kind of a toss up for both of them.
yeah,
You know,
I agreed.
right?
It's
Like
tough. Yeah,
they just keep like substituting each of them back and forth, right? Which is kind of like
yeah. Who do you think wins that? Do you think it's Seth? Because Punk has a deep history with Bunny in the Bank, so I could see them letting him get that. And do you think they go after Jay's title if Jay still has it? Well, that's the big question. Do you think Jay still has the title then, or do you think they go after Cena's title?
I think they probably focus on Jay. I think Cena is his own track for a while, for sure. So I think they'll just be feeding people into Cena and they don't necessarily need it to be money in the bank, like or any of that stuff. They'll just
Yeah,
have people.
agreed. That makes sense. I could see that. Yeah, that's interesting. Um, I guess so. With your guess, besides our truth on Saturday night main event, we're really not expecting Cena to need anybody to beat our truth, right? If that's what he's truly doing Saturday night. Like he should win clean over our truth, correct?
He should, yeah.
Then
He
what do you?
should.
Then what would you do if you were in charge of it?
After who's next, you mean?
Yeah, like where do you go? Because then that would technically be June already.
I suppose if Cena wins Money in the Bank, I could
That's
see.
hysterical. Because then he can keep it,
Yeah. He could, yeah. If
and that would ruin wrestling, right?
so yeah, I suppose if Cena wins Money in the Bank, I could see him going after Cena. All the other guys, I think, go after Jay. Like anybody else who wins, I think goes after Jay. But if Punk wins, I see him going after Cena for sure. So I guess it depends on that match. If that's not the case, then mm, then I don't know. I really don't know.
I I'm intrigued by this now. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's gonna get interesting.
I'm very intrigued because now I want to take I want to take Damien or Drew out of the Money in the Bank, and I want to put Cena there so that Cena wins the briefcase and nobody can challenge him.
I mean, that would be kind of heelish.
Right?
Speaking of doing things heelish or not heelish, that would be one of them for sure. I don't think they'll do that, but yeah, I guess it's possible.
Right. Right. Um. Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. Um. Yeah, I'm trying to think that Cena in Orton stuff was good, but like you said, it kind of got a little bit out of hand when everybody was getting an RKO and people being put through tables, and I was definitely hoping for Orton to bring back the punt. Like he was
I
like
thought for sure he
I
was
thought we were
going to.
getting it. Yeah, I thought we were getting it. Do you think we eventually get the punt back?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think they wouldn't. I'm not sure that like they have any issue with it. I just don't know if they'll do it. You know?
Just because it's dangerous, or
No, I think just I don't know. Like they think it's a little too violent, but I'm not really sure about that. Like
I
why
think the
that might be a
stomps
thing.
more violent than that.
I don't know. Punting's pretty violent. Like if you're thinking about, I don't know, it's both pretty violent, I guess, real life. But
Yeah, I guess so. Um, I guess so. Then to finish up, besides of what's going on Raw, where do we go from here, Dan? You think? Like, where did like? Do you think Penta ever gets a clean shot at the IC title again? Like, what do you do with him
yeah,
now?
I think they're moving towards that eventually, or some sort of title for him eventually.
Do you wait until like him and his brother can clean out the Judgment Day?
Probably. I think yeah, I think you're going with the brothers first before you go with anything else. And then, I think they're gonna get there though.
Agreed. Agreed. How quick do you think we see that?
The brothers, I think, is gonna happen pretty soon. I don't know if it would be a Saturday night's main event, but it's not gonna be too far removed from something like that.
No. Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. I'm interested in this. Let's see. All right, so there's some people saying I don't know. There's a lot of talk going on that maybe the Orton Cena match didn't end the way it was supposed to for fans, and that there might just take a second match to kind of clear that out of the way. I don't know if I want to see Orton
Oh,
versus
just
John.
because it was like it was so controversial because of all the whatever.
Yeah, which I
Yeah, I
don't.
guess.
I guess, but I don't. Like, does that bug you?
I mean, I don't know that I'd say it bugs me necessarily. I don't necessarily need to see it again, but you know,
It was just
if they
weird
if
that
they
they.
do something good with it, then I'll be all right. I don't want to see the same match over again.
Do you think we get
Like same.
Solo and what? I'm sorry. Go on.
Well, I was just gonna say I don't think we. I don't want to see like the same set of circumstances happen again. You know, where it's just
Yeah.
a friggin' ridiculous false finish ending the whole time. You
Yeah.
know. You were an ass about Solo.
Yeah. Do you think we get Solo and Jacob at Saturday night? Like, you think we get a dust up or something, or do you
I
think
don't
we
know if
get?
they're gonna do it that. I don't know if they're gonna do it that quick because honestly, it's Saturday Night Main Event's only a couple of weeks away.
Yeah, 10 days or 12 days. So there's Bleacher Reports thinks that you're gonna get El Grande Barricano in a tag team against like you said, Penta and his brother. And Bleacher Report also thinks that they're only going to use Penta and Phoenix as a tag team when it comes to the AAA events, not within the WWE like tag division. That's interesting
That's
thought.
interesting. Yeah, I guess you could use them. Maybe you see them at Worlds Collide then.
Yeah, that's where I thought. Um, and I guess I don't know. I guess like the reports are that Goldberg is getting closer to being back in WWE. So do you think this Gunther Goldberg thing starts to kick off at Saturday Night Main Event?
I don't know if it would kick off for Saturday. I mean, he'd have to come back like by Friday for that to work. You know,
Right, that's what
I
I mean.
think so.
Well, I'm just saying,
I
like Goldberg showing up in the crowd, right, and then Gunther saying something to him again, and then that starts it off.
yeah. I mean that could be. You could get something like that, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm really. Do you think we get Bailey back at Saturday Night Main Event? I'm trying to think like where we go from this Raw SmackDown to Saturday Night Main Event.
I think it's probably only going to be a couple of matches, to be honest, 2 or 3. I don't think it's
I
going to
was
be more
thinking
than 2 or
three.
3.
Yeah, I was thinking three.
Yeah, so I
What was
mean,
the last one?
well, we think we have Cena and our Truth, and then um,
No, but like, what was? Do you remember when the last one
oh, the
was?
last one, I think it was only 3 matches.
Was it January? Does that sound about right? Yeah, cause
Um,
Rhea defeated Naya. Braun defeats Sheamus. The contract signing Shawn Michaels give KO Sweet Chin Music. Braun defeated Jacob by disqualification. And the World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther defeats Jay. Yeah, so we had four. One, two, three, four, plus a Shawn Michaels Sweet Chin Music to KO.
that's right. I forgot about that.
So, yeah, I think 3 to 4 is good.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. I kind of want to get Punk in like a standalone match on Saturday Night Main Event. Like just him. Don't go
You
to.
might get something like that.
Yeah, I would hope, right? It's like, do you feel like it was easier to tell, like on the past ones, what we're gonna get on Saturday Night Main Event compared to what's going on now?
I mean, I think so, but they also had very specific stuff going on. They just
Yes,
have
that's
a
true.
ton of stuff going on or available to them, right? Like it's not even, it's not even close what they have going on. Like they just, I mean, there was just a couple of stories. It was like Cody and Roman and that stuff, and that was it. You know?
Well, and you got to think. You got to think we're ever since um um ever since Seth has been with Paul, like we've gotten Paul on every WWE show so far. So you know there's going to be a Paul segment, right? Besides
Yeah, I'm
SmackDown,
sure there'll be
right?
something.
So they're going to be there. Um, yeah. So that's good. I don't. It's tough, man. I know that's kind of. I think you said it perfectly. That's why my brain can't wrap around it, of like what's going on.
Yeah, because I mean, you could see something with Dom, you could see something with Finn, you could see. I mean, there's just a lot you could see, a lot of different ways.
I want the Judgment Day breakup to be then. Yeah, I want the Judgment Day breakup to be Saturday Night Main Event. Have you followed any AEW stuff lately, Dan?
I have not
So
actually.
we just got HBO back, so I have a few things queued up to watch. Um, but there was this funny thing that I wanted to bring up to you, and feel free to go off on it as much as you want. Okay,
Can't wait.
Josh
Let's do
Alexander,
this.
right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot he went there.
Right. Here's this. In an interview with the Wrestling Classic via Fightful, Josh Alexander said he expressed interest in AEW at the promotion start in 2019, but the Young Bucks suggested that he waits. Full disclosure, before I signed with TNA, I heard rumors of this new company starting up. It didn't have a name at the time. Nothing had been announced. I had worked with the Bucks, so I reached out to one of them and was like, "Hey, is this real?" They were like, "Yeah. Would there be any interest in me? Because I would love to be a part of something like this." The Bucks said, "Not right now."
Okay. Interesting. I wonder why.
Uh, I he is 1,000 times better in the ring if you put both of them together in one body.
Well, yeah, but they're not gonna admit that. So
Well,
yeah,
I
they're
will tweet them
at
to
the
him after this podcast tonight.
no, you won't. You don't have use of a Twitter account anymore.
Dan, I got a VPN I pay for the year. I could get on Twitter.
um, I mean, and since they were basically calling the shots at the time,
They
like,
still are. You
well, I think
you think
I
it's
I
changed since the Punk thing?
I think it had changed. Yeah, I do, but I think it had started to change prior to that. And I think that was part of the problem because they didn't really have the power anymore that they used to, right? So I do think that the Punk thing was like, because the story there is they were the one leaking shit to Dave that got Punk so mad, right? Like they were the children, right? That, he worked with, right? And I tend to think that some of that was because Tony was calling in a little bit of, look, guys, yeah, you're EVPs, but at the end of the day, who signed those contracts on behalf of the company?
Mm-hmm.
Me
Very true.
or my dad or whoever, right? So I think Tony started to pull a little bit of rank, and like that might be evidenced a little bit from like Cody stepping away, like, and that was before Punk, but that was coming too, I think, a little bit. And then Kenny, right? Like, yeah, Kenny was an EVP, but then Kenny was gone. It was like Kenny wasn't even an EVP, and then I think he's not an EVP anymore, like in reality. So, and don't forget too, Punk had, I don't know that we ever found out exactly for sure confirmed, but Punk had two contracts with them, right? Like a talent and a backstage contract, right? Like he had a leadership type role as well. So I think Tony was pulling back a bit of power there, and that was part of the problem for them, for sure.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I don't know if it was confirmed Punk had two contracts, but Punk did say he was he was working backstage on the Earl Wani
If
show, like
I
he was involved with that stuff. I don't know if
I
like
could be wrong. I could be wrong, but if I remember the statement, because everybody pointed it out at the time, the statement when he terminated him, they said like terminated his contracts effective immediately. Like it was plural in the statement, I'm pretty sure.
interesting.
I mean, that was several years ago, but I feel like that was something everybody pointed to say, look at this. It says contracts. And then, yes, you couple that with like, he made a few comments at different times when he said, like, I'm trying to run a business here, you know?
Yeah,
Because,
no,
like,
that
at the
makes
end of
sense.
the day, Collision was his show, right? Like, he was sort of running Collision, allegedly.
Yeah, I'm still flabbergasted from the fact that the Bucks told Josh Alexander they don't have interest.
No, we never have accused them of being smart.
I mean, do you think like he contacted him during the time that they were putting the tassels on their boots and like they were just preoccupied?
Possible. Working on their super kicks.
I just like it's it's wild that they thought he wasn't ready, but WWE wanted he was the top priority that WWE wanted from TNA when his contract was up, besides Jordan Grace.
Right.
And just think Joshua Alexander or just think Josh Alexander in WWE. Like it would be perfect, right?
Yeah.
Would be perfect. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, Dan. Anything else you wanted to
I think
chat?
that's it right now. We're kind of in our we're
Like
kind of in a
stale
little bit
phase,
of
right?
our we're in our like yeah post WrestleMania haze. I think so. It takes a little bit to get out of it, and then it starts up again, and then we'll be right in for SummerSlam before we know it.
Yeah, I heard you and my dad are going to SummerSlam.
I mean, he wants to.
Well, that's what I heard today that you were in. So
I mean, he mentioned you too.
yeah, well, I he didn't even tell that to me. He just said you and him. So just bring me back a T-shirt. But anyways, besides
Oh,
Dan going
you
to
mean
SummerSlam,
you mean like this the Survivor Series one?
Dan,
Yeah,
I don't know
since
if
you
you
were there.
read the back of the shirt. It says I was there. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting a Rusev promo.
Oh, that's right. We could see Rusev in Money in the Bank. I mean, or Aleister Black. I see. Just to the point again. I didn't even think about that. Right? Like you could get both those guys
Yeah.
if you wanted to.
Real quick before we cut the tape on this one. Huh, look at that. How do you feel about Aleister Black getting back into this and they're redoing the thing he did with the Miz when the Miz hurt his eye? Like,
Um,
would you have started somewhere differently?
I don't think it mattered. It's another deal where it's like they're just really happy to have him back. The
Yeah.
fans are excited that he's back. Like I don't think they cared, you know, who he started with, if they went back to something like that just for a little throwback, right? That's how they do it, right? He comes in and the first thing he does is, you know, lay out the Miz.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad to have him back. And I've never seen somebody get out of that skull crusher finale that the way that Aleister Black is. Like he almost does like a tumble salt out of it. And now we got Sheamus back in the full green vest and
Oh, maybe Butchie's coming back too.
yeah, interesting. But yeah, I agree. We're kind of in like that pause phase, right? Like we had our filler PLE event. We got some storylines starting, other things brewing. A lot of people involved in the mix. It feels like until they narrow down like where they want to go with it. Um. So yeah. Uh. So it's interesting. Very interesting, Daniel. But I am catching up on my AEW stuff. I promise. I'm using this time during my days to catch up on AEW when everybody sleeps here. So, I hope to be able to discuss that more within the next week or so. Obviously, we have to send our thoughts and prayers to Sabu's family. That was crazy. Um, Mother's Day, Sabu passed, and everyone anybody's been talking about him. Guy is a legend, not from the sense of all the hardcore stuff he did, but all of the traveling he's done in the wrestling world, to everything he's accomplished. One of my favorite Sabu matches is Rey Mysterio versus him for the World Heavyweight Championship. It was just crazy to see those two guys go at each other. Um, so yeah, R.I.P. to that guy. R.I.P. to the
Yeah.
legend
That's
himself.
crazy. It's
And
crazy
did
that
you
just a
see
month
the
ago he had that
pictures?
match.
Yeah, did you see the pictures? Um, of him sitting in the locker room after that match.
I saw some of the backstage pictures. Yeah,
Like when he's sitting on the bench and there's just blood
yeah,
all over the place.
yeah.
Fucking wild, man.
Well, I mean, just watching some of the clips. I didn't watch the match, but I saw all the clips
Right, right,
online, and it was like, holy Christ, you know,
right. So,
it's crazy.
yeah.
60 years old and doing that.
Yeah. Still young, too. Like, 60's not old. I mean, we're all going to be working till we're 80 if Elon has his way. So, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
all stuck in some iPhone factory that's supposedly coming back. Um, but yeah, it's crazy, man. I loved watching Sabu stuff in the ring, the old ECW stuff. his patented like leg drop onto the chair while you were on the chair was always great, or how he used the chair to kind of like trampoline himself over the top rope. Always good to see when he pulled that off, because it was just such a key thing that he was down for. So it's sad to hear that he passed, but absolute legend of it. Do you think he gets in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I do. I think it's unfortunate it didn't happen, before he passed, and now it's going to look like they did it because he died. I mean, they probably won't do it next year, but
right,
I do think eventually he gets there.
Agreed. So,
very well.
Well, yeah, not to end on a sad note, but it's been a great period of wrestling. We're just kind of in our stagnated period here of just waiting to see what pulls out from all these storylines. So it'll be interesting. Plan is, if you're free, Dan, next Tuesday, does that work? So we can get Raw in on that Monday?
Yeah.
I think that works best for the schedules, right? As long as you're not traveling up into WWE headquarters.
Yeah. That's actually not until next Thursday, a week from Thursday.
Well,
so
I know that Hunter
Tuesday
reached out to you for the creative job, so just making sure, you're not going to forget about us little people. So.
Don't I wish.
Oh, Jesus. That was a little rough. On that
Don't
note,
I wish.
It's a Botch Wrestling podcast. We'll be back next Tuesday. Obviously, Dan is just outgrowing this podcast, I guess. But until then, adios, folks. Have a good one.
Wow.